Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, I'm already cracking up. As I'm sure you've heard, As Ever just did a drop today, and we need to talk about it because we're going to dive face first into this. This has to be the absolute worst product drop in As Ever short but very chaotic history. Trust me, that's saying something because the brand has already given us fake sellouts, backwards, upside down canning tongs, and jams that critics called sickly sweet slop straight out of Pinkberry's topping bar. That was courtesy of the Mirror. I'm talking Meghan Markle's latest holiday magic reveal that dropped today, October 28th. $64 candles that tie back to a wedding that she once complained about smelling like a musty chapel. So we have lots to get into on this. $31 honey. Satin slip dress is so much to get into. If you're new here, I'm Jen. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the thumbs up. Leave me comments as all of those helps YouTube to recommend my videos. And I sincerely appreciate that. Let's jump right on in, shall we? Let's take a look at her product, shall we? We're going to start there and then we're going to take a look at her Instagram post that ties back in with these products. But I just need to show you the price of some of these things because it will absolutely make your head spin as it has done mine. So this is directly from As Ever at the time of the recording. Again, it dropped today, October the 28th. So let's just take a look through some of this, shall we? Our holiday collection. Okay, I'm sure it is. What do you notice right off the bat? Because I see it all, mention it all. That's a Real Housewives thing, but it's just the prices of these things are absolutely unbelievable. So let's talk about this. Okay. So she's got these jams and spreads. $14 for a 7.6 ounce raspberry jar. She finally did the raspberries. Okay. 7.6 ounces for that. So I did some math on that. If my math is correct, that breaks down to roughly $1.84 an ounce. Think about that because I have. When I looked up Smucker's, do you know how much that goes for per ounce? And if you're not from here, that's just a very popular jam. I'm sure you've heard of it. Very popular jam here. That goes for about 50 cents an ounce. Again, compared to Meghan's $1.84 an ounce. What in the world would make her think she could charge something like that? So 7.6 ounces, that is so small for $14. But don't you worry, if you wanted to get a signature fruit spread gift set, you can for your friends for, what does that say? 40. Let me zoom in on that. My goodness gracious. $42. Oh my goodness. All right, let's talk these candles, shall we? Because I am stuck on these candles. In case you didn't know, she released 2 candles. Okay, let's talk about that. So $64 for a signature candle. Now, the signature candle is called 519. Why, might you ask? Because that's the day they got married, May 19th. They're trying to convince us all they're a happy couple by releasing candles. No wonder she's been clinging on to him more lately because they need to be a happy couple, right? If she's going to release these $64 candles based on the wedding date. That's why they were so awkwardly holding hands at the pumpkin patch. But it's supposed to have notes of Moroccan mint leaf, white tea leaves, woodsy cardamom, invoking warm sunshine, blue skies, and the freshness of the English countryside. That's the description. I'd like to point out that, again, she's bringing up the English countryside after everything. Yeah. But here's the thing to remember, because I certainly do. St. George's Chapel, is one of my favorite places in the world. I talk about that a lot. It's right there on the grounds at Windsor Castle. It is gorgeous. But from what I remember, if I recall correctly, and I have to say allegedly, the whole thing that's been talked about with her is that she complained of a notoriously musty and foul smelling. This is per, I believe it was her Suits co-star, Rick Hoffman, I think is his name, talked about that, and some royal biographers went into that allegedly she complained about the musty smell. And I said, that's crazy because I love that place. And it just has a historic smell to it. It's like going into an old library. Don't get me started on bookstores, but old library and things like that. It just has this wonderful, rich history and that kind of smell. And I just couldn't believe, of course, she's complaining about it. But anyway, she notoriously complains, allegedly, right, of the musty smell. And yet she's going to release a candle around the smell of her wedding. I wonder again if this is not her trying to change the Google algorithm where she had complained before about the smell and now she's trying to release candles around the smell. Just saying it. I believe the rumor or whatever the allegation was that she was trying to use diptyque diffusers instead that would have like different smells to it. But now she's selling it as a cherished memory that can be yours for $64. Make that make sense. $64. Now the other candle, 084. Her birthday, of course, is August 4th. The whole world revolves around Meghan, right? So $64. The scent that warms Meghan's family home. That's what she's advertising it at. It's water lotus, sandalwood, and California poppy. $64 for this thing. And how much are we talking a huge candle? No, we're not. 8.5 ounces. I just want to remind you all that I am the biggest fan of Jo Malone. I love their stuff. My favorite, I wear all kinds, but my favorite is the red roses. Okay, so I bought Red Rose's diffuser. I have bought the candles before. I'm very into this stuff. I just love that smell. It makes me happy. Yes, Jo Malone is expensive. It is, but it has a wonderful, wonderful smell. I've talked about it at length. I don't get paid to promote this stuff. I just love it. I truly love it. Okay. But again, those are Jo Malone prices, who has a history of selling these incredible things and these incredible smells. And you still get, again, her candle is clocking it at 8.5 ounces. You get 3 times the size of that with Jo Malone for about the same price. I just cannot make sense out of this. She called her wedding a spectacle, and yet she's monetizing based on this. I just think this is just the biggest grift ever. I really do. This is just the ultimate grift on her part. Hand poured in California. That's what she's touting it as. But again, these just seem like massive ripoffs. Who cares if it's hand poured in California? Once again, she's focused on the complete wrong thing. She's focused on the look or the aesthetic of things rather than the thing itself and the quality of the thing. People are already reporting that the packaging is nice, but the scent is meh. That's what I think that was reported by Daily Mail. Okay, so $64 for a candle that in theory, the people buying it, they're not going to be able to smell it first. It's not, to my knowledge, anywhere to test. So you're just supposed to take her word on it for $64? Again, I go back to Jo Malone. Somebody like that with a proven track record, you might, after a while, like I've bought from them before, I like to smell it first, but if I'm not able to, then at least I trust. I'll go back and read the ratings. I'll really look into it. I'll do, I'll read the reviews on it, and I can usually figure out if I'm going to like it or not. What do you have to go on Meghan? She's never sold candles before. This is just a huge, leap of faith for her fans? $64. I can't get over the price. I really can't. It really is crazy. Other people have said things like, yeah, I'll stick to Yankee Candle Company. Thanks. Those ring in at like $20, something like that. No thanks on this. I just feel like this is all a big revisionist history in wax form. Not whatever she's trying to she's trying to peddle it as some sort of nostalgia, something like that. I think, again, she's pushing with the rest of this line, and I do have the products here. We can take a look. You can see them here. The candles, the honey is so expensive. The honey is $31 a jar for wildflower limited edition, or $62 for 2. It's just being reported as it's nothing special. It's overpriced compared to any kind of local, what is it, apiaries, which retail for about $10 to $15 a jar. She's coming from this history of, in my opinion, allegedly like messing with things such as possibly fudging the numbers or making it seem like this false scarcity where it's selling out and it's not available, things like that. Oh, in case you missed it, she also has released a new sparkling wine for $89. Again, you're just supposed to buy it without trying or without a big history there and just assume it's worth the price tag. It's a Napa Valley Brut. I don't know alcohol. You guys can fill me in if that sounds right. But from what I can tell, right before she was pricing it, I think it was about $30 in prior drops. So what are we doing here? Why the more than twice the price for this thing? It's vintage, but it's, from what I could tell from Googling it, people that have tried similar say it's not revolutionary. It's not anything special. It's just really expensive. Who pays $89 when you can get, I mean, you guys like to point out like Trader Joe's wine for a much more reasonable price and from what I can understand, a much better taste. I think, Meghan's pushing this everyday magic. I believe that's the word she's using for this one. But $350 for jam and fizz? It's magic for whom exactly? It's magical thinking on her part to think that people would want to pay that price. How about that? I'm really stuck on all this. I think this is just absolutely bonkers. It's, again, fake scarcity. It's what, elevated? Is that what we're doing here? The only thing I can tell that's elevated is the price. Again, going back to the mulling kit, because I love the mulled cider. I have had mulled wine before. Again, I'm not a big drinker, but that is something I like to have occasionally when it's cold outside. I just can't imagine $28, because with mulled wine, if I understand this correctly, and again, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just spices that you mix in with your own booze for $28. Whereas I looked at Williams Sonoma, their similar kits are going for about $15. So why almost double the price for what? And the fruit spread, $42 for 3 tiny jars. It just seems like it seems like it's all built around this fake hype. People's reviews in the past have not been good about this. So what is the selling point? Is Meghan the selling point? Because if any, I mean, that can't be it. I can't. I'm trying to make sense out of something that makes less than no sense. You remember in June, she dropped the apricot spread. Some didn't get theirs. There were talk of possible refunds, but I don't even know if those happened. There were talk of free items in the next drop. So I'd love to know if that ever happened. If anybody knows anything or had that happen, let me know. It just feels like their typical level of chaos. It really does. The other thing that is, she talks about like gift giving and gathering, but at these prices, it's gatekeeping. I don't know what else to call it. It just seems like gatekeeping. For whom? I don't know. Whoever wants to pay a ridiculous amount of money for these products. So that's going to do it on that. Now let's take a look at her social media post, because it's worth calling out and looking at the ridiculousness of that. If you thought these products were out of touch, let's take a look at her post. Now I can't play it, of course, with the sound, but we can just watch and talk about it. So as ever, save the date. That's today. She posted that today. Okay. So there's giggling in the background of this over the music. She's showing what her kitchen, herself, our holiday collection. I wish I could play this music for you. I can't. It's just like, look at me. It's just some music in the background in her. It's just like, all right, that doesn't make it fun. Pretentious, over the top stuff. Again, meant to be a holiday celebration. And then whatever that is, don't worry, I've got freeze frames. We can take a look at it. I'm gonna let this play again while I just talk about some of the stuff because it's crazy. And then we'll play a game with the handwritten note at the end. But here we go. Let's talk about the glossy Instagram reel. Okay. So it's supposed to be holiday magic, and it's all about slow-mo shots of her and Montecito playing what, domestic goddess? Apple picking, and she's trying to go for what, a relatable farm vibe. All I could think about with this is that Magnolia. If you don't know Magnolia, that's the, and I really don't follow them much, but I do like some of their stuff, the Chip and Joanna, sorry, Gaines. And I like some of their stuff, and they do like different foods and Magnolia Table and stuff. And they do a lot of home decor, but they're wildly successful. I'm sure you've heard of them. Let me play this again. But I feel like it's trying to go and missing for those vibes. I love that she's so chaotic. She's putting save the date for today. It's today. She's watching a video of herself. That sounds right. What else is new? She's turkey glazing in a slip dress. Again, that honey is $31. That she's just casually drizzling on the turkey. Now, I did talk to Chef Matt. Hi, Chef Matt. Thanks so much. If you're watching, he told me, because I had my friend Chef Marie look at it as well, and she thought maybe that something was wrong to glaze it afterwards. Chef Matt is saying, well, no, you can do that with the honey. I don't know. I I will say, even if technically correct, $31 to drizzle a little honey after the fact just seems like busy work for her. And it seems like something that nobody's going to do. Nobody. No kids, no Harry. It's just the dogs. It feels curated to a fault. It's her holiday tease, I guess, in association with Netflix. She talks about gathering, but it's all about her solo. It's not a holiday vibe. It's more of like a mood board or something, I don't know, cooked up, is totally out of touch with the rest of us. I'm stuck on basting turkey in silk. Nobody's doing that. We're all wearing sweatpants while we work on our turkeys. I get that she's trying to go for the glossy ad, but I think she's forgotten who her audience is. I don't even know who her audience is. It's just low effort hype is what I'm seeing. And I don't know that it even screams super festive or holiday. Yes, she's blowing out a candle and showing her mantle, but I just don't know. It doesn't scream anything really, except for look at me. The lead into this video is literally a look at me. She's showing off that pinky ring that's like $60,000 from 60 something thousand dollars from Lorraine Schwartz. Out of touch, tone deaf. That seems to be the focus. Look at my jewelry. Not as ever. Yes, she's kind of showing as ever, but it's more about that pinky ring than anything else. From the musty wedding candles to the slip dress turkey, it just expensive escapism, but it's not something anybody's wanting to even aspire to. So I ask you, who is this for? What is this for? Who's buying this? I don't think anybody, but maybe a few people that wanted to try it to write reviews of it. I can't imagine this is going to be wildly successful. I really can't. These prices just so out of touch. Yeah. And then again, the reviews on the ones that have already been out are not good. So I can't imagine people are rushing to buy more of this stuff. Any of her actual fans would have probably picked up some of the stuff or similar stuff in the first go around. And even some of them were critiquing the consistency of these items and the price. So I can't imagine there's going to be a huge rush on this. But I'm sure Meghan will find a way to fudge or to show some numbers that try to silence any of her critics, right? All right, so as promised, let's play a game at the end of this called What Is She Writing Here? They made it way too, it's like they obscured it on purpose, except for to show the as ever at the end. You can see as ever, but don't worry, I've got a freeze frame of it. Here you go. Even if you can kind of tell what she wrote, let's play a game in the comments called Wrong Answers Only. What did she write? Let me know what you think, and I'll let you know what I think. I think she said, I think it's her to-do list. Grab all of Harry's money. What do you think she wrote? Let me know. That's going to do it for me. I've got to get your feedback on this one. What do you think of all this? What do you think of the products? What do you think her gimmick will be? As of the time of this recording, she's not showing any of this stuff as sold out. Not that I'd buy it anyway, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on this. Let me know in the comments below. What will be her gimmick to prove that she's successful? How does she justify these prices? She doesn't. She just lives in her own little world. Who does she think is her target audience? Let me know any of that. I'm dying to know. But that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I cannot wait to read your comments on this one. And as more stuff about this comes out, you know I'll be talking about it. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I did, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Stay healthy. Bye-bye. Oh my goodness. Hi. Those prices are highway robbery. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on this. By the way, I wore velvet today and it's like deep purple. I tried to go for a holiday look myself. It looks black, but I think you can tell maybe. Hold on. It's like a deep purple. I just wanted to go for holidays since Meghan missed the mark. And a reminder that I painted my own mantle here. I did this. I hand painted this thing because it was beige before. So I put more effort into my holiday than she did for a fraction of the cost. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on all this. This is crazy. What's going to be her gimmick? How is she going to pretend to sell out of this stuff? Or how is she going to clap back at the critics? Because as you can imagine, the critiques are flying on this one at the prices and the small packaging and all that. Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You know, as more stuff about this comes out, I'll be talking about it. All right, take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Bye-bye. Crazy.